What up, dudes? Your boy, Robby Rowe. Quick little breakdown here. If you're watching this and you haven't yet subscribed, I'd encourage you to do so because I'm going to be giving away about 5 copies of my newest ebook that's going to be released in maybe a couple weeks. A complete guide to pitching mechanics. It's going to be over 100 pages with full depth analysis on how to optimize your delivery. So all you got to do to be entered in a giveaway of those 5 free copies is make sure that you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And once I get close to publishing the ebook, I'm going to be running a few different videos, and all you got to do is comment on those. Okay, so check out the or be on the lookout for that. So anyways, quick video here. Alex Reyes on the left, Dustin on the right, both very, very similar angles, and we're going to be looking at one of 2 types of drive leg loading patterns. In this case, it is hip hinge. I get asked a lot of questions regarding, the hip hinge, the vertical shin, heel disconnection, and quad dominant, and all these things, and in hopes for the individual to understand what is superior and what is not, and what they need to do. Now, I'll obviously go into complete detail when in my ebook. I'm actually writing the chapter on drive leg mechanics right now, but just to give you some brief context within the drive leg mechanics, I personally believe that I don't think it's as big of a deal as a lot of people make it in regards to hip hinging and quad dominant. I think hip hinging is more optimal in regards to a couple of the responsibilities of the drive leg mechanics to absorb, produce, and store energy. And I think when we look at some of the breakdowns of quad dominant, harder to segment the lower and upper body rotation, misdirection of that back knee, and so on and so forth. We won't dive all much into it. I just want to showcase a screening of this pattern and why I think it is more optimal in regards to how to effectively load the drive leg. Okay, so we got these guys coming at peak leg lift. Now, as soon as they descend from peak leg lift, there is energy. There is energy to be had when we descend. Okay, now we can talk all the live long day about the required stability within the drive leg. And now the reason why I wanted to bring up stability, because think about at the gym. Okay, you're going to be able to deadlift, you're going to be able to pull more weight from the floor and produce more force into the ground to accomplish a greater capacity of weight to pull in a deadlift via hip hinge movement than you are a squat via, like a quad dominant movement. So when we look at required stability to absorb this force coming down from peak leg lift, then why would we not actively engage the biggest muscle group of our body, which is our booty? Okay, so that's the simplistic version. Again, I'll dive all into this in the ebook, so I encourage you guys to check that out once it's released. But what I mentioned in the ebook is this kind of opportunity to check out a few different things in regards to what quantifies a hip hinge. So unlike a quad dominant, where the knee is going to be constantly shifting forward in front of the toes throughout the descent of the peak leg lift, the hip hinge move is actually going to showcase the knee remaining in that neutral posture of where it started. So we can see this as a clear representation from both of these guys who throw kind of decently hard. As they descend, you can see that they are shifting their weight back and they're applying force into the ground with their entire foot. Okay, so check it out here. Now you can see once the lead leg gets out of the way, boom, that knee. Okay, so this knee did not really shift at all. Obviously, it's going to bend, it's going to stay athletic, it's going to get into a position to absorb this force, and then boom. So now the lead leg is out of the way. Now we can see that posture there. Now this is amazing. Like, this is, if you want to look at what optimal drive leg mechanics look like, look at these 2 guys. So now you have what you call a vertical shin angle, and you also have capacity absorbing that force and storing this force, right? So within drive leg mechanics, it's absorb force, produce force into the ground, and in order to produce optimal amounts of force, you obviously want to put your body into a position to do so. And what do I mean by that is just making sure that if we were to look at these guys from the front, and we were to draw a line up from their foot, and again, this video angle is not from the front, so don't freak out, then you would see that the majority of their body mass is centered cut throughout the whole foot. So you're putting more force into the ground throughout the whole foot into the ground, right? So thinking about a scale, let's just put it simply. If there's a scale under here and you wanted to increase your number, in order to do that, you would hinge at the hips and put your entire foot pressured down instead of this knee shooting forward and the body following that direction. A lot of red going on. So now you have this storing mechanism. Okay, so guys that hip hinge, that have this hip hinging loading pattern, are a lot more efficient at storing energy throughout the entirety of the drive phase until it becomes time to rotate the hips. Another component that I dive into in the ebook is this concept of, if you can hip hinge, you can store energy more optimally, and you can do this mechanism of snapping the pelvis into rotation. So think about it in terms of building rotational energy and continuously like pulling a stretch, pulling a band as you descend and sink and approach anchor point. So the more that you can delay and build this rotational energy, then you can snap that into rotation. Whereas quad dominant guys are going to be more prone to initiating the hip rotation earlier because their direction is already kind of compensated, which again, I'll say, like, it's not necessarily a bad or good thing. It's about like what are optimal movements. Now, this goes without saying that there are just certain restrictions from maybe an anatomical standpoint or a mobility or stability standpoint or whatever it may be, that individuals just can't accomplish this move of hinging at the hips. And I'll be completely honest, I've been notoriously known for being a quad dominant loader. So I just wanted to give you guys a visual example. Have these two video angles, which are pretty dope, and you can see just from these angles, you know, what quantifies a hip hinge load and why I kind of believe it's a little bit more superior. So now as they sink and they drop into leg lift, peak leg lift, drop into the drive phase, what they can do is they continuously apply force into the ground, which helps aid in that storing mechanism, and then snapping into rotation in relationship to the hand. That's what I call the velocity enhancing move. And a lot of people ask me in regards to, like, how long should you stride? What should your stride length be? All depends on how long you can maintain hip hinge posture. So Alex Reyes is short stride, but it's all complementing his hand. Whereas Dustin May, he's got a longer stride, yeah, complementing his hand and the posture of the trunk. Okay, guys, so hopefully you got something from that. And like I said, I'll be giving away about 5 copies of my newest ebook to be released in hopefully a couple weeks. Be sure to subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you don't win. And if you don't win, you lose. No one likes to lose. All right. Much love, guys. As always, book your analysis. Check out the description below if you got any questions. There's a link to my question platform. God bless. See you.